Okay, hello everyone. This is the last study under the cognitive approach. That is the study done by Pozzulo et al. Lineups. All right, so let's dive into it. Now, key terms: what is false memory? Recollection of an event that is inaccurate or did not occur. All right, this thing actually happens. You can think that okay, yeah, this thing really happened, but actually it's never did. All right, this is not a deja vu thing. All right, well, maybe it's kind of similar, but deja vu rather it's a different context. In this situation, you actually believe this one happened, right? You believe, but if you look at maybe systems that can validate the reality, now you'll be able to discover that okay, oh, that wasn't real. For example, oh, my friend, you were there at my party yesterday, and then the friend was like, oh, I never came. And then you had to ask about two or three other people. You saw him, right? And they could testify that, oh, he didn't come. Wow. So how come you believe he came? All right. So eyewitness testimony, evidence provided by witness of an event often used in legal cases, right? Now, post-event information. This is detail introduced after an event that is narration of the happenings. Okay. Right. We have target lineup. This is also another key term. Target present lineup. This is when you have a lineup like a list of people, right? Or let me say a group of people where you have to identify who is the culprit, who is um the what's the word now? Who violated the crime or who committed the act, okay? And then if the culprit is present in the lineup, like the group of people, maybe 5 or 4 now, if he's there, then that's the target present. Okay, now target absent is contains only foils. All right, so all the list of people are not there, and then you have to identify if the culprit is there or not. So when I say foils, that means false pictures, right? When you're looking at pictures, for example, and then all the pictures are not there is the person that committed the crime is not present, so they are all foils. All right, so the target person is the real person, if it's present or not. Now, background: child witness recognition. Previous research indicates that child witness often experience difficulty with accurate recognition and identification of legal context. Okay, could it be because they have limited exposure in life and then they are able to distinguish effectively people's faces? Well, who knows? All right, so lineup identification. Okay, challenges. Studies show that children are particularly vulnerable to making misidentifications when presented with traditional lineups, often incorrectly identifying innocent people. Okay, that can be very dangerous, right? Now, social influence factor. Research demonstrates that children's decisions in lineup situations are significantly impacted by social factors. So there could be social factors responsible for that. Maybe the need to just pick someone, not necessarily that they're certain about the person. They can be pointing at the person that, yeah, this is the man, this is the man. They keep repeating the words, whereas they're just pointing, like it can be serious, right? Now, psychology being investigated, we are looking at memory distortion, false memory, and post-event influences. Okay, of false memory. Now, social influence, impact of expectation on children's decision making. All right, how can expectation, the need to pick someone, affect their memory? Now, also cognitive demand is another element that contributes to this study. All right, difficulty in distinguishing faces in different contexts. Okay, so aim: to compare children and adults' ability to identify and reject faces in lineups. All right, so they compare children and adults. Special aim: assess accuracy in identifying cartoon faces, compare performance in human face lineup, examine error in target absent lineups for cartoon and humans. All right, so these are different things you can see around the study. All right, so research method one. Okay, research method rather, it's a laboratory experiment. Okay, designed independent variable was children versus adults. Oh, sorry. There was independent measures. Okay, that is, it's either you're in the children group or you're in the adult group alone. All right, one participant did not play in the adult group and also repeated the children group. No, so children were for children, adults were for adults. Repeated measures was the target present and target absent, also versus cartoons and humans. All right, so cartoons for target present, a child will do cartoon for target present, cartoon for a child will also do cartoon for target absent. Okay, I believe you understand that. An adult, on the other hand, too, will also do cartoon for target present, cartoon for target absent. So a child will also do human for target present, human for target absent, adult, human for target present, human for target absent. So that will form a list, different categories, right? Sampling, opportunity sampling of participants that are familiar with Dora the Explorer and Go Diego Go. All right, so these are the cartoons that were used. All right, so they must be familiar with them. Reason is because the cartoons are categorized as familiar faces, people or things that they know before that event. All right, whereas human faces are seen as unfamiliar because they're just seeing them for the first time during that uh, study. All right, so the variables, the IV contains the age, lineup type. All right, age in terms of children versus adults, the lineup type. Okay, is it the target absent, target present? Okay, the cognitive demand, the difficulty around the faces, is it the familiarity or the unfamiliar one? Cartoon is familiar to them because they know the cartoon. Humans unfamiliar. Now DV is accuracy of identification or rejection. How accurate will you identify the target in the target present, and how accurate will you reject the that okay, the target is not present in the target absent? Do you understand? How accurately will you be able to say, oh, in this lineup the target is not present? All right, so moving forward, we have the procedure. Participant viewed muted video clip followed by lineups. So they all viewed the video clips, and then there was a lineup that is the picture presented to them to identify. So for the cartoon lineup, Dora talked to the audience in the video clip that they watched, and then Diego put on a safety gloves. Okay, all right. So those were the two things. Dora is the girl, right? If I'm not mistaken, Dora is the girl. Diego is the boy, the male cartoon. All right, so human lineup, the female in the video was brushing her hair, and then the male put on his coat. All right, so you can check my other video for detail on all those things. All right, so the female was brushing her hair, the male was putting on the coat, how long it took. Okay, 2 to 3 minutes of close picture, and then the video lasted for is it 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, right? Yeah, the video lasted for 6 minutes. All right. So for each of the category. Okay, now moving forward to uh, the lineup presentation. Okay, so for the target for the lineup presentation, we had target present where they had one target and then three foils, three wrong pictures. Okay, and then they were grouped together. All right, so the target absent was made up of just four foils, right? Okay, so stimuli detail, video material, dynamic color. The video was in color, however the lineup was okay. We'll get there. All right, featuring animated and human subjects, that is cartoon and human. All right, cartoon stimuli for Dora and Diego series. Okay, human stimuli show white male and female subject. Now for the lineup photograph, it was standardized black and white. Okay, because picture could have been another thing when it comes to identification, right? It could affect the variable. It could have been an extraneous variable. All right, so what black and white format to eliminate color bias. Okay, color could have maybe helped some video against another. So under the extraneous variable, that is confounding variable actually, if I'm to limit it. But okay, let's move on now. Carefully selected for is matching the facial features. All right, it matches around the skin color, it matches around the hair length. Okay, it matches around what else. Okay, I think one other thing like that. Right, so there were similarities around the correct picture, which is the culprit, and then the other fake pictures that were included. So the foils were selected to match in those criteria. Now participants, all right, child participant, we have age range 4 to 7, total 59, and gender 21 female, 38 male. All right, for the adult participant, we had 17 to 30, total 53, and then gender 36 male and 36 female and 17 male. All right, I think I'm rushing a lot, but then it's fine just to make the video very short. Okay, data collection for children. Responses were recorded by a researcher pointing. So the children just had to point by looking at the lineup from a PowerPoint presentation. All right, so they were just to point at the image, and then the experimenter will identify. They will record uh, the response of the child. So for adults did a self-recorded on sheet, okay, of people. All right, so adults were recording themselves. When they see the thing, they will record that this is my choice. Now, analysis, quantitative data collected for statistical analysis. All right, so that is quantitative data. Anyway, results showed that for cartoon identification, okay, children were able to identify 99%. That is very good. I mean, for familiar faces, right? Children did very well. All right. So adults under cartoon got 95. That is also very good. Okay, but it is still surprising to see that children did better than adults, and they are both familiar with the cartoon, right? So, but then when it comes to human identification, then children failed drastically. I mean, they just had 23%. So that is unfamiliar faces, seeing a new face, and then they have to recognize it. So children had difficulty doing that. All right. So adults also had a low score, but it's still above average. So it's still fair, right? Okay. So human rejection, that is a ability to let me validate if this figure is correct though. Let me check, please. Few minutes. Because I believe that the children had a poor rejection. Yeah, they had a very poor rejection. Okay, so I'll check this again. Okay, the children actually had a very poor rejection, human rejection. Okay, yeah, they had a poor. So please ignore this table. Okay, this is the important one here. All right, you can keep this in mind. I will check this again later. Now, result overview. Overall performance, adults perform better overall. Okay. So when you look at it overall, when you do this plus this divided by 2, this plus this divided by 2, then you discover that adults perform better overall. Now for cartoon faces, there were higher accuracy with the cartoon faces compared to the human faces. So for the cartoon faces, you see that both group, which is the adults and children, they had high score, but then for the human faces, there was a low result. Now, human faces, there were lower accuracy, especially for children who are 23%, right? So conclusion, cartoon lineups. Children excelled in cartoon lineups but struggled with human faces. The target absent lineup, social factor influence error in target absent lineup. Okay, so when the targets were not there, there were social factors that affected the children, like pressure just to select something. Okay, so because they were supposed to reject that, okay, this thing was not there, I mean the culprit was not there, but actually because they've been told that they have to select um the culprit. However, they were told that if the culprit is not there, they should point at a particular box, okay, a silhouette box at the side. That, okay, once they point at that box, that means they are trying to say that the culprit is not there, right? All right, so when it gets to that, the children still feel they were pointing at innocent people. Okay. Adult performance, adults were more accurate in both identification and rejection tasks. Okay, adults were more accurate, so children also perform worse in the rejection. Children perform worse in the rejection task. Adults did better. Okay, so they were more accurate than children. All right, so cognitive and social factors. Social pressures significantly impact children's decision making during identification task. All right, so lineup design, importance of designing lineup that account for developmental difference, especially for legal purposes. Right, so strength of the study, standardized lab control condition ensure high reliability, right? Standardized condition, there is high reliability. Quantitative data allows objective analysis. All right, because quantitative, everything is objective, you are not being biased, right? Operationalized variable made sure that everything is clearly measured and accurate. Okay, operationalized variable talks about what shows the score. Okay, what do you mean by cartoon faces? Everything is well defined. Weakness, methodological disparity, different response method between group. So children used pointing while adults used the answer themselves. That could potentially affect result comparability, okay? Because they did not go through the same exact procedure, right? All right, ecological validity. Yeah, that is not a real life situation. It was not in a laboratory. So it limits its ability to be applicable to real world situation. Familiarity bias. Pre-existing familiarity with cartoon character may have influenced identification accuracy, particularly for child. All right, so children might be more familiar with the Dora and Diego compared to adults, which might have influenced their ability to answer more accurately, right? So issues and debate, ethic, informed consent obtained from parent and participant. All right. So especially for the children, they obtain informed consent from the parent or the guardians and then the children themselves, right? To know if they are interested, right? No deception or harm involved. That is good. Applicability, highlight and influence highlight the influence of social factors on eyewitness accuracy. So just because you're there standing, okay, and then you're expecting the child to pick someone, it can affect the child's uh, accuracy. Reliability is high due to standardized procedure. Validity, there is high internal validity because you control extraneous variables, right, as much as possible. However, low ecological validity. So generalizability on equal sample size, children versus adults. Okay, and also when you look at the representation, male versus female, they're not also equal. Familiarity requirement, familiarity with Diego and Dora. All right, restricted age range 4 to 7 days is my reduced generalizability. Will people above 30 behave the same way? We don't know. This factor limits the generalizability of the study. All right, so implication for eyewitness testimony. All right, so which means you have to be more cautious when it comes to legal situation. All right, there's also all right, so these are not important though. Okay, so summary: false memory and social factor distort children's eyewitness testimony. All right, adults perform better overall, but children excel in cartoon recognition. So improving lineup procedure in legal settings. Okay, you can improve the procedure in a legal situation. All right, and obviously do not totally depend on a child's recognition, or let me say identification. All right, for further research you can check all of this. Practical application, okay, in school you can apply child protection, you can apply legal system, it can be applicable. All right, so questions and discussion. All right, you can check all this now. So that is it. Thank you very much. I hope you've learned one or two things from the video, and I hope it has simplified the content for you. So please do well to help me subscribe to my channel. Please, I really need your support. Please help me subscribe. It's very important to me. Okay, and I wish you all the very best. Okay, thank you very much. Okay.